Hi guys, welcome back to I Love to Cook. So it's getting cold outside, and the first thing that I thought of was hot chocolate. But I wanted to do something a little more special. So today I made Champurrado, and I'm going to show you how it's made. So the ingredients you'll need are Mexican chocolate, masa, water, milk, piloncillo, star anise, and whole cinnamon sticks, and some cinnamon spice. Okay, I'm just going to go over some of the ingredients for you. For those of you who've never made this before, masa is a corn flour that's used to make things like tamales or tortillas or things like that. The piloncillo is actually an unrefined sugar made in Mexico. It has a hint of molasses in it. It tastes very much like sugar. It's a little bit grittier. When you cook with this, you want to make sure that it's dissolved all the way so it doesn't have that grittiness. The star anise is very licoricey. It has these little seeds inside. I don't know if you guys can see that. Inside it has these little seeds that emit an oil into the champurrado that's going to give it kind of a licoricey flavor. You can't really taste it once all the ingredients combined. It gives it a really good flavor. And you guys should know about cinnamon. I mean, that's pretty much worldwide. Okay, I wanted to open this chocolate for you so I could show you guys. Mexican chocolate. This Mexican chocolate is different from just any old American cooking chocolate. Comes in this brick that has their brand on it. It has other flavors in it. It has some cinnamon. I think it has some almond in it. I've heard that before. It isn't listed on the ingredients, but it has slightly cinnamon flavor. It's a deeper chocolate flavor. But you need to use this if you're going to be making, Mexican champurrado. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is put your water to boil. And then you want to add in your cinnamon and your star anise. You want to boil this for about 5 to 10 minutes because you want the oils from the spices to really infuse in the water. When my tia makes this, she actually leaves all of the spices in there. I can't think of what it's called. Like in the little bags, like when you're making like a large pot of tea. Well, if you make your own tea, you put everything like sort of in like a cheesecloth type thing. And then that way you don't have to fish it out later. But this is easier for me. Her recipe is slightly different than mine just because she makes it on a larger scale. But it's very, 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 very similar. So you want to, like I said, infuse these flavors for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then you're going to actually be removing the cinnamon and the star anise, and then adding the rest of the ingredients. So while this is infusing the flavors, I'll show you what you're going to do next. Okay, so while those flavors are warming through, I'm going to show you what you're going to do next. We want to take the Mexican sugar, the piloncillo, and you want to grate it. For this recipe, I'm going to use about 3 heaping teaspoons. For my aunt's recipe, you actually use a larger one of these. You use the whole thing. But for this one, I'm just going to grate it. You could actually chop it as well as the chocolate. But for me, I find it's easier if I just use the grater because these are very solid, very dense, and very hard to chop. So you just grate it like you would like cheese. And it comes out very fine. You can see that. It'll be easier when it dissolves in the water. And then you do the same thing with the chocolate. You're going to use a half of a disc. You're going to use half of one for this recipe. And you're going to chop the whole thing. Okay, so the first thing that I want to tell you is my tia had actually given me the special Mexican whisk that they would normally use to make the champurrado. But the one that she had given me was smaller. It was just for personal use, like for your own mug that you would just whisk after, because you'll see, once you're drinking the champurrado, the masa has a tendency to fall to the bottom of the cup and get thick at the bottom, and you want to kind of stir it while you're drinking it. You're going to drink this hot, so it's going to take you a while to drink it, so you want to keep stirring it. But anyways, I don't have it, so I'm just going to be using a whisk. So we're going to remove the spices, and I don't know if you can see that, but the water color has changed from the cinnamon. Look, it's just falling apart. The oils have come out of the spices and infused in the water. Next, what I'm going to do is add the piloncillo, the Mexican sugar, and the Mexican chocolate to that water. And get that really well dissolved. Both of the sugar and the chocolate are a little gritty. So you want to make sure that it's really well dissolved. Oh, I forgot to mention, I turned the heat down to about medium low. I'm on a 4. Good check and see. It looks pretty thin. It's not too gritty. So I'm gonna go ahead and slowly add my masa. You're going to need about 1/4 of a cup for this recipe. The milk is going to vary though. I've noticed when I watch my tia make it, after it's been sitting on the stove for a while, it has a tendency to kind of thicken and evaporate. You might want to add a little more milk. So it's about 2.5 cups to 3. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. This is where Mexican whisk would come really in handy, because it wouldn't. Okay, so once you start mixing in the masa, you see it starting to thicken up. Make sure you get all those clumps out first and everything's fully dissolved before you add your milk in. I'm going to start slowly adding in the milk. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna let this thicken up a little bit. Some of the water is gonna evaporate a little bit more, and then I'll be able to pour it in a glass and show you guys what it looks like. So what I want to show you guys is that it does make a lot. You see here, I have this mug that I made for my little girl. It's a little bit smaller. The ones that we use are like the bigger, more like for tea, not really for coffee. The consistency that you're looking for is like hot chocolate, maybe a little bit thicker. This is really good. You guys gotta try this stuff. It is Mexican hot chocolate, but it's not. It doesn't really taste like hot chocolate. It's more cinnamon. It's got more flavor, as you could say. And then what I like to do, I told you guys cinnamon spices. What I like to do is actually put some of the Saigon cinnamon on top because the Saigon cinnamon has a lot of, it has a different flavor. It's hard to explain. That's how I like to enjoy mine. So you guys give this recipe a try. Let me know what you guys think. I have some other videos coming up pretty soon. Some pies and stuff, some sweet stuff for like Thanksgiving or Christmas, but I'm still looking for more suggestions. So if you have anything in mind, or just if you guys want to share like what you guys eat or drink for the holidays, I would love to hear stories about that too. Thank you for watching. Okay guys, so it's done, and I want to show you it. If you could see that, it's still runny, but it's a lot thicker than chocolate. You see there on the spoon, it's got all that masa granules. Really good. But how I like to drink mine is with a little bit of Saigon cinnamon on top. If you can tell, I really like it. I need to go to the store and buy some more. Like, where did it go? I don't know. Oh, only in everything.